On previous episodes, the World Inside Out visited the most mystical region of Pakistan, in which rivers are full of gold. The gold comes out of nowhere from the sand. People live for 130 years or even longer. My grandfather lived till 135. My grandmother lived till 130. And members of the royal family can be seen just on the streets. Thank you, Your Highness. But the most exquisite thing about the region is its location. Just on the border of two lithosphere plates, tens of millions years ago, after a collision against each other, created one of the highest mountains on the planet. They say that hidden powers here give shamans an ability to predict the future precisely. Shaman from this region predicted the coming of cars and airplanes. We're going to the heart of the shaman region, place of power, where people talk to spirits. And fairies live on the mountains. I didn't know that such mysteries are in Pakistan, but they're fairies and genies. We'll find out all the fate of humanity. When will the world completely forget coronavirus? And what should we Ukrainians expect according to Hunza Valley shamans? Will Zelensky be re-elected? And while we're going to our destination, we'll find the answer that a lot of scientists were searching for. What helps the locals to live longer? This is a black rock. It's very rare. It helps to cure a lot of diseases. The World Inside Out with Dmytro Komarov. We're making our way through the old streets of the Hunza Valley, and we want to prove you that people here are really longlivers. Let's try to find out what their secret is. According to the internet, this is an oasis of youth where people live up to 120 years. They are in good health and even give birth to children after 60. Let's ask the locals. Assalamu alaikum. We came to your beautiful Hunza Valley to reveal the secret of longevity. Who in your family has lived the longest? My grandfather died in the age of 95. My uncle is 85. He walks and runs in the mountains. People live here for a long time. Maybe it's because of the water from the glaciers. It has many natural minerals, which helps to maintain good health for a long time. Pakistan is clearly not the country which most people associate with glaciers, but there are more of them here than anywhere else in the Arctic Circle. More than 7,000 glaciers fill Pakistan's rivers, and it's a source of clean drinking water for the Highlanders. Assalamu alaikum, we came from Ukraine. We study the mystical properties of your valley. They say you live for up to 100 years and don't get sick. Is it true? Yes. My neighbor is 90 years old, and all this thanks to natural food. And where to find the oldest person in this area? Go further. Ask Sheli. Thanks, goodbye. Goodbye. We're looking for Mr. Sheli. Hi there. Assalamu alaikum. Do you know Grandpa Sheli? Yes, I know. Come on, I'll take you. This is a medieval city, stone walls. It's fascinating. This is truly an ancient princedom. Princedom of Hunza. Until recently, the land of kings. Sheli is here, right? Yes. Such a small door. Come in. Grandpa chops firewood. Let's go. Assalamu alaikum. Sheli, your neighbors told me that you are the most active and grown-up man here. I'm very glad that you visited me. Welcome. How old are you? I'm 90 years old. 90 years and you chop firewood at your age? I live so long because I work all the time. It's amazing a 90-year-old man chops wood. Let me help you. No need. Give me a try. But I won't be surprised if I do it not so good as you. You're my guest. We don't do it like that, only if you want it yourself. I just want to show everyone how strong you are. You see, a 90-year-old man chops better than me. I'll do it by myself. It's inappropriate. You're our guest. I cut off at least a piece. And I will help to collect the chips. And 90. You can see that you are active, cheerful, and positive. And we came to find a man in the Hunza Valley who in 90 or 100 years feels 35 or 40. Looks like we found you. Then come into the house. Oh my God, what a good man. Sit down, warm up. Oh, it's warm here, good. How old is this house? 92 years old. Is it 2 years older than you? Yes. Let's get down to business. I can see that you, despite your 90 years, we have this expression, you're like a cucumber. What is your secret to such health in this age? I eat apricot oil and butter every day. Since childhood, my mother forced me to eat this way. That's why I have strong bones, even now I work. And if there's a festival in town, I love to dance, to spend time with people. I will treat you to our food. Ah, these are the apricots. These are apricot oil and dried apricots. Is this your main diet? Yes, it's what we eat. From dried apricots we cook dodo soup and juice. And apricot juice, apricot soup, dried apricots, apricot oil. This is an apricot paradise. And what's that? Candies? It is a substitute for sugar, which is brought us from Punjab. And what is it made of? Also apricots. Sugar cane? Yes, sugar cane. Cool, like candy. Apricots? We also have kuraga, dried apricots in Ukraine, but this is not the case at all. Here the apricots seem to be cut into slices and dried. Unlike our kuraga, these apricots are very firm. You need to have strong teeth. Do you have strong teeth? I have very good teeth. Interesting. I can show you the real secret of a long life, but you have to try it there. Let's go. The secrets of a long life are always interesting. If you have not yet revealed all the secrets, we're going to a medieval city. How many royal dynasties have you survived? 4 dynasties. What were the advantages of the royal time? What are the benefits now? In those days, we thought that there were only our princedom and that's it. You didn't know there was another world outside of Hunza. We didn't know anything. Did you think that the world is Hunza? When I was young, I thought that Hunza was the whole world, and only in 50 years found out that the world is much bigger. So up to 50, you thought that there was nothing outside these mountains. I thought so. We were forbidden to go far. The people were under control, but the king, for his money, arranged dance festivals for us, and we loved to dance. The kingdom used to be isolated and cut off from the world. Sheli is witnessing great changes for these places. We have a living history ahead of us. Now we may help us unravel the mystery and the recipe for his elixir of youth. My friends, we're going up to the so-called Dutch shop, where people also do something that helps prolong life and make it happy. Secrets of long life are above. The road to Sheli's secret treasure, it's a steep and very windy climb up. Our car overcomes it quite easily, but our hero usually goes there on foot. We live in this house in summer, and in winter we go down to the village below. Here I store very valuable butter, which I buried 10 years ago. Why bury butter underground? So it wouldn't spoil. We prepare it for different holidays and, when necessary, dig it up. It lies in a depth of 1 meter. How will we dig? May I help you? Now I call my guys. Hey, come here. Help dig out the butter. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam. Your name, please? Dayat Karim. Duralim. Dmytro, pleased to meet you. Shall we start? Tell me, how many points do you have where the butter is buried? There are still places. I see there's water. There is a wet ground. Doesn't the butter spoil? We specially bury in a place where there's water. This is a cold mountain stream. It works like a refrigerator. How to solve the problem in princedom and royal times when there were no refrigerators? The products were buried deep in the ground. It seems that the butter is close. I'll come and see. See, my friends, butter that was buried for 10 years. Very interesting. What is it packed in? Look, this is the bark of the holly tree. Always rub in it. Is this ordinary butter? Yes, it is. Today we're having a music festival. I invite you to it. And after that, we have dinner and I will treat you to the butter. Thank you very much. I'm glad to accept the invitation. Thank you all and goodbye. Folk traditions live much longer than any kings. Although the forts of the rulers of the Hunza became museums, the inhabitants of the former principalities continue to have fun near the same palaces as in ancient royal times. Today, the Highlanders promise a very happy holiday. My friends, I already hear music. And I see that people are gathered. It's obvious that this person is respected. Everyone greets him, hugs him. This, I understand, is a lodge of elders. The whole village gathers in a small area under the same fort where the king used to live. Traditionally, the holiday is opened by the oldest. Look what he does. It's fantastic. Although it's not said directly, I can assume that dancing is also a part of the secret of a long life. These people really like to dance and at this moment completely relax. In general, after living here for a few weeks, it seems to me that the Hunza Valley just doesn't know what stress is. Me, the only non-local guest in the party, also invited to the dance floor. Thanks. I'll dance with the elders. This is how, my friends, long-lived people have fun in the Hunza Valley. Gets 500. Oh, such a tradition. Okay, I'll do the same. "90 years. Here are the miracles that happen here in the Hunza Valley. Now I have no doubt that this is true. Thank you. Shukriya. The holiday lasted several hours, and Sheli was in the forefront without stopping to dance and have fun. And on the way home, he even managed to play football with the neighbors. Where does so much energy come from? It remains a mystery to me, which I hope to unravel over the dinner with Sheli. Who knows, maybe this dinner will add a few years to me. On the table are apricots, apricot kernel oil, and tea with cakes. My friends, the secret ingredients of the Hunza Valley, which prolong life. Show me, hold a masterclass, how to have lunch, breakfast, dinner, having such ingredients. First, you add salt to the tea. Here, friends, how interesting. They drink tea with salt. This salt is brought here from the Punjab with such stones. Friends, look what salt looks like here. Very beautiful crystals, like precious stones. Here it is simply soaked in tea. Salted tea with milk. What's next? To take bread. See how interesting. He crumbled bread like for birds. He takes that apricot oil and waters the bread. And then mix the breadcrumbs with oil. Well, let's try, my friends, the recipe for a century of life. Oily crumbs. Nice apricot-flavored bread. And you know, even how, as children, we all loved apricot pits smushed with a stone and chew. This is the taste of apricot pits. Very unusual. Nice. I like it. It's delicious. May I just try the oil? Of course. In winter, you should eat a tablespoon a day. Apricot pit oil. You can't say otherwise. Apricot oil is made of apricot pits. They say it is not only strengthens the immune system and affects the healing of the whole organism, but also has anti-cancer properties. Therefore, it cannot be ruled out that these natural products really prolong lives. Now we'll try the butter we dug up. 10-year aging butter, which has been stored underground all this time. Ordinary store butter can be stored in the refrigerator for no more than 4 months, but in our case, there is no talk about the shelf life. You see, he unpacks the bark. It is wet. The smell is, on the verge of rot. Very interesting. This is truly a secret dish. I can see something white, like cottage cheese. Look, the crust is quite thick. Here it is. Do you know what it smells like? Smells like cheese with mold, French cheese. You can compare with anything, but it's very tasty. And what is the maximum time of burying? How long people have kept it underground? 20 years. Can you imagine how much this product costs if it put up for sale? I think it's priceless. It was prepared for 10 years. We do not sell it. We make it for ourselves. May I smell it? Cheese. It smells like cheese. This is not butter. And what do you call it, butter? No, cheese is something else. And this is butter. Taste it, and you will understand. This is fantastic, my friends. I cut the butter which was laying underground for 10 years. Look, it's perfectly clean. Look. Texture, hardness, how it spreads in the mouth. It is butter from the refrigerator, but the smell and the taste of French cheese with mold. This is a unique product. There is no such thing anywhere in the world. It cannot be bought for any money. You can only come here to Hunza, try to find longlivers, make friends with them, and maybe you'll be lucky and you'll taste it. There's still tartness in your mouth, slight bitterness throughout the mouth and throat. Very interesting aftertaste. I've never tasted this. If you have a disease of the intestines or stomach, this butter will help you a lot. And now I'll show you the rarest remedy for aging. I haven't talked about it yet. Grandfather Sheli has many secrets, but this is definitely a sacred one. He had hidden the elixir of long life so well that he didn't find it first. What are you hiding as a treasure? This is a black stone. It's very rare. It should be put in warm water. A black solution will be obtained. It should be used little by little. It helps with all diseases. What is it? This is a stone shilajit or badana. That's what we call them. This is the petrified waste of mountain birds that can be found only high in the mountains in very dangerous places. It's very difficult to get. Shilajit, translated from Sanskrit, is mountain resin. This mixture of plant and animal components, also called mumio. But it's just petrified manure of bats, birds, or rodents, which feed on mountain insects and grasses. Traditional healers believe that with such a stone, thousands of diseases can be cured. This is the ancient secret of longevity. Here you can clearly see the presence of a breed, like earth, straw. And from what diseases first of all? First, with inflammation and pain, and secondly, for male strength. I saw how you showed. It is such a powerful medicine that even in my age, it helps. Usually after 50, a man is asleep, but everything works fine for me. If you meet people of my age, I will be the most active of them. How many children do you have? 3 daughters and 3 sons. Bird droppings work well. I understand that. Sorry for the rude question. Is your wife happy that you are taking such medication? At my age, it's taken only for therapeutic purposes. I have pains in knees and back, so it helps. We have gifts from Ukraine for you. Also to prolong life. That you would live not 120 years, but 150. Carpathian tea. Yeah, more than 20 herbs. Grandmothers collected it with their hands in our mountains in Ukraine. Here, brew, drink, and stay healthy. Thank you. Different kinds of Ukrainian honey. Honey is also healthy. Thank you. And this is our apricot oil as a gift. Be healthy and live long. Before saying goodbye, Sheli shared with me another secret which helps him fight old age. I've been to a shaman many times. I had to curse from black magic. I felt very bad, but no one could understand why. The shaman found things that hurt me, took them away, and since then I feel good. And what were these things? I don't know. They were hidden in a glass and wrapped in foil. We're also looking for shamans. The legends say that here they are maybe the strongest in the world. Where do you recommend to go to find the strongest of them? The strongest can be found only in the Shaman Valley. This is not the first time we hear that we need to go to the magical valley of Shaman. Local longlivers' advice was the last puzzle, and now we know exactly where to look for the strongest seers. I am leaving Karimabad and rushing to the heart of shamanic lands, the mysterious Shaman Valley. My friends, we are leaving the Karakorum highway and we go there, high in the mountains, on our car. Look, wooden suspension bridge. It staggers. The car weighs more than 2 tons. Honestly, the feelings are very extreme. This is already a real exclusive. This is a valley of shamans, which is believed to be home to the strongest shamans in the world, and the last real shamans, at least in this region. Shamans are people who seem to have ancient knowledge and abilities, can communicate with spirits from other worlds. It helps them to heal people, protect from evil forces, and look to the future. With the advent of Islam, shamanism in Pakistan gradually disappeared. It's preserved only in remote mountain settlements. Here they believe that they be able to work real miracles. They can predict the fate of all mankind, region and country. They say that the shamans of this region predicted the emergence of aircraft on the planet even before mankind learned that it was possible to fly. I'm very curious to know when at least this difficult period will end on the planet Earth. Think of it. Coronavirus blocks the whole world. Global warming, animals are dying, and according to all forecasts, our life will change very soon. Some say the end of the world is coming. Others say that in a few decades we will fly on vacation to Mars. Is it true or not? And what do shamans think about this? The path to the Valley of Shamans is not easy. There are narrow mountain serpentines that don't allow us to relax the whole expedition to mountainous Pakistan. Suspension bridges made of old wood which literally make waves onto the mess of our car. Assalamu alaikum, tell me, where is the Valley of Shamans? It's here, Shaprot. Assalamu alaikum, sir, where are the shamans? Drive straight and then right on the road. Ask there. You'll be shown where to find a shaman. He will tell you things you don't know for sure. Very nice, shukriya, thanks. We've been assured that they're shamans. We can go. The road, however, is scary. Goes right on the edge of the cliff. You have to be very careful. And the rain has passed, slippery. Thanks to the locals, we finally got to the place which we're looking for throughout Gilgit-Baltistan. My friends, we arrived in a colorful mountain village, very similar to Nepal. And here for many centuries and even thousands of years, shamans predict wars and cataclysms. So let's see what we can find out today. And where is the shaman? Can you tell me? He's there. Come on, I'll show you. He lives here. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Does the shaman live here? Yes, I'm his cousin. Come in. Assalamu alaikum. Hello? My name is Dmytro. Ali Ahmed. Turned out Pakistani shamans are not at all like those who we have met in expeditions around the world. At first glance, this man is no different from an ordinary Pakistani. You know, I had a different idea of a shaman. I thought it would be a man with feathers and a drum, and you are just a Pakistani man, a strong one. These are home clothes, and I perform rituals in other. Take a seat. Yes, would love to. We heard that the strongest shamans on earth live here. Shamans who can predict the future of mankind. Are you really one of the last shaman in this region? It's true. Me, my father and brother, only 3 shamans who have all the knowledge in this matter. They are students, also our relatives, but they still have a long way to go. How do you become a shaman? How does this gift come about? It's passed down from ancestors. My father is also a shaman, and his father was a shaman, and so many generations in our family. I don't even know exactly how many. This gift came to me at the age of 4, but it took a lot of time and effort to gain complete control of these force. Local legends say that only a person chosen by spirits can become a shaman. They come in the form of birds or butterflies or in dreams. The chosen doesn't immediately gain power. On the contrary, may get sick, suffer from headache, stop eating and talking, even behave like a mentally ill person. And only after a long study, a young shaman can turn this weakness into a force to make contact with spirits. At first, I dreamed of different people and events that will happen to them. Often not even from these places. Then I learned to manage this gift, and now it's enough for me to go to bed even with a person button to dream of his problems and future. So, if I leave you this cell phone case, for example, and you will spend the night with it, and in the morning, you will tell me about my future. I need something from your clothes, something which contacts the body. Yes, a small piece of cloth is best. For example, cut off a piece of pants. Even a thread will be enough. In fact, given that I have a unique opportunity to meet you, I don't want to waste it trying to find out my future. I want to use this meeting for another purpose. I have heard that Hunza shamans are the strongest in the world and predicted global things. So I also want to ask you a global question, which applies to the entire planet. I want to know what will happen to our world in 20, 30, 40 years. Maybe we will live in a completely different dimension. Fly to Mars by some kind of boss. Nobody knows what will happen, and you may see. These are difficult questions. To find out the answers of them, I will have to go into trance and talk to the fairies. With fairies? Yes, I'm talking to fairies. I will pass on your questions to them. Let's see what they say. Who are the fairies? We imagine that fairies are fabulous girls with wings. And in your ideas, who are the fairies? That's right, they're small, come with wings. Very beautiful, in white clothes and gold crowns. So fairies are your connection between the altar life and the world of people. Yes. Where do these fairies live? There is such a place between heaven and earth. It's called Pakistan. Fairies live there. They descend to our world through the mountain tops. For example, in the mountains of the Caucasus, many fairies and various creatures from another world. The fairies told me that this place was somewhere near Chechnya. So fairies and unearthly creatures live in Chechnya. Yes. So the fairies you talk to live in the Caucasus? No, they come down to Earth, not only there. There are 10 or 15 places in the mountains of Pakistan where fairies can come down. For example, Mount Rakaposhi, Gokhan, or near Chitral. They are all there. Is that why the Hunza Valley is called the Valley of the Shamans? Because fairies live here? Yes, that's right. Ali Ahmed is not the only one who communicates with fairies. Hundreds of people around the world talk about such meetings. Writer Dora Van Gala from the island of Java claimed she repeatedly played with them. Dr. Ivan Svens, in his book The Fairy Faith in Celtic Countries, described 102 testimonies of people who encountered fairies in person. And the English poet William Blake even told that he saw the funeral procession of these magical creatures. I'll be honest, you understand how many viewers seem to perceive not everyone believes in this. Give an example which will help absolutely all our viewers to believe that fairies are not mythical, not fictional creatures. This is what really exists, as you say. Of course, it's very difficult to prove this to people who don't believe, but I can show you a ritual like I'm going into a trance. I will ask the fairies questions and you will find out what they say. I'll ask my assistants to prepare everything. It takes time. And now let's go. I'll show you the peaks where fairies live. Interesting. Let's see where the fairies live. I could not imagine that there is a monastery of fairies. We perceive fairies as characters in children's cartoons. In fact, myths about them have long been found in many nations, more often in the folklore of the Celts, Slavs, and Germans. They are described as magical creatures of small stature with a tendency to tricks. Fairies who predict future destiny and rule the world, according to one version, were mentioned in ancient Rome. You see, where snowy mountain peaks. On these peaks, fairies descend to our world and come to me. How can a person contact with a fairy, and how often have you contacted with fairies? I am in constant contact with the fairies, except when I eat, pray, or work. They are still flying over us in a circle. There are 21 fairies under my control. They come when I call and tell me the future. When do they come to you and when do you communicate? They come when I call them. However, only until midnight. After that, they are harder to call. But in emergencies, I sometimes call them at night. Sorry for my smile, but can we say that you sleep with fairies? Yes, but after midnight, they have to be forced, if you need something urgent. Do you have a large family? A wife and 6 children. So 6 children, a wife, and 21 fairies. 22 fairies with my wife. Describe the fairy to me. What is she like? How tall is she, young or not? What are their forms? Sorry for the man's question. What it looks like? They are very beautiful. Sometimes I even forget about my family and I say to them, "Take me away." They are usually small with very beautiful eyes. There is one main fairy, they call it Mahakar. Isn't your wife jealous when fairies come at night? It makes no sense to take offense, they'll come anyway. According to him, Ali Ahmed really has to spend a lot of time with fairies. With problems and illnesses, residents of the villages often come to the shaman. And what are the most popular appeals of fellow villagers? What do they ask? Most often they ask to get rid of diseases or creatures not of this world. For example, when such a creature inhabits man, he may lose his mind and attack other people. Or a person stumbles to the place where the genie family lives and disturb them. Then the genie can get angry and torment this person. Do genies also exist in Pakistan? Yes, a lot. For us, genie is a fairy tale character. Aladdin's magic lamp. You rubbed it and the genie comes out of it, right from the spout of the candle. In fact, genies can live in different places. There are many of them here. Everything is complicated. I didn't think that such mysticism existed in Pakistan. It turns out that there are fairies and genies. If you accidentally touch this genie, you can be inhabited by a demon, and then you need a shaman, and we found the best shaman here. Let's hope the fairies come down from the mountains today and answer the questions which interest the whole world. I'm going to change clothes and get ready. During the ritual, I will be assisted by a mentor, my father, Hadr. Your father? Very nice. Are you also a shaman? Yes. And who's stronger? Did your son surpass you? He's still young, but already better than me. The fairies told me before he was born that he will be inhabited by a fairy and my son will be a strong shaman. At young age, he was very ill, walked in his sleep, but then he took control. While the chief shaman getting ready, his father helps to prepare the necessary magic tools. I see a juniper in your hands and you blow into it. What's going on? I pray to call the fairies, and juniper smoke helps attract them. Don't you practice anymore? No, I passed everything on to my son. Now I'm just helping him. Let's start now. But remember, don't move or talk during the ritual. My friends, you can't move. We need to sit still. They say the shaman is ready. He changed his clothes, took some garlands. What is it? This is a gift for guests. You are disguised in a white shalwar kameez, blues on top because it's cold. Is it clothing for a ritual? Yes, clothes should be white. Let's go. My friends, let's go into the room for a secret ritual. You see, there are people with drums, 2 musicians. The final stage of preparation for the ritual is underway. Students bring hot coals into the room and prepare bait for fairies, while the shaman is carefully sprayed with perfume. They switch fire and put juniper. Music attracts fairies here. Juniper smoke is their food. The smell of perfume also helps to attract their attention. You will still need to use a little gold sand. Golden sand, the same one we saw in gold miners. Imagine this is all true. The puzzles come together. No wonder the gold diggers told us that this sand is used by shamans. Why do you need it? To protect from black magic. May I ask you the questions the fairies will answer you during this ritual? Yeah, sure. First, now everyone is talking about global warming. Will people be able to stop disaster? Then everyone talks about the apocalypse, the end of the world. Is it true or not? And how much time left, if that's true? There are wars all over the world now. Will there be less of the war? Or the situation get worse? Expeditions to Mars are already being actively prepared. Will people be able to fly freely to Mars? And can I, for example, ever shoot an episode on Mars? And about the coronavirus? The pandemic stopped the whole world. When will it end? And the world will forget about the coronavirus. And questions about our country. Will Zelensky be re-elected? The president of Ukraine? I hear your questions, and I'll ask the fairies. Let's start. From now on, you need to be silent. That's it. I'm not talking. The shaman's assistants start to play drums. Juniper smoke fills the whole room. Ali Ahmed smokes himself and actively inhales the smoke. As they believe here, at this very moment a bridge opens between our world and the spirit world. Now the shaman can start a conversation with the fairies. I'll whisper, see what happens. He's in some kind of trance. Everyone whistles and screams. It's hard to breathe here. He looked at me, a bit scary. I don't know how to respond. But that's my questions. Pretty scary when he looks at me. I felt some chills. Probably he is communicating with someone, saying something. It feels that way. It seems that something supernatural is happening here. It's like the completely different person in front of me. His facial expression and manner of speech have changed, and most importantly, the view. He became completely different, sometimes scary. Magical action is gaining momentum. The shaman dances to loud music and whistles and freezes in almost complete silence. Only the initiated can understand it. All I have to do is watch. Everyone screams and whistles. It's unbelievable. I didn't think I would see something like this. It's totally unexpected. And believe me, he's definitely in a changed condition. This is not a show or a play. I see his eyes. The camera can't show this. His look is very scary. Believe me. Looks, I asked too many questions and they're too complicated because it lasts too long. So absent look, he's totally inadequate. We can treat such rituals differently, believe it or not, but there is something that cannot fail to impress physical endurance of the shaman. It seems that there is definitely something magical. After all, several hours of such activity, not everyone will survive. You see, he fainted. Trance often ends like this. Do you see? Everyone approaches him. I'm not surprised. Anybody who has no skills of shaman after 2 hours, even more than 2 hours of such a dance, would pass out. Look how he breathes. Look at his face. He's very tired. He really has vapor coming out of his head. My friends, you can believe or not, but I saw it all with my own eyes, and when he looked me in the eye, it was a special sight. This was not the view of the actor who plays his part. There's something here. Now we'll wait for him to come to his senses and try to talk. I hope it happens today. You see, he has not yet come out of a trance. Lies and continues to communicate with someone. It is believed that the deeper the consciousness plunges into a trance, the harder to get out of it. It was a long and intense ritual. Even for a very strong shaman, it's difficult to return to our world and come to his senses. Looking for something in the bag. The bracelet is the main proof that a shaman from this region is real, because after initiation, he's given a bracelet. Excuse me, may I ask you a question? Are you back yet? Are you here? Give me a minute. It was a long trance. It wore me up. I'm not completely back yet, but I can speak. Do you remember what were happening the last 2 hours? Yes, I remember. During a trance, I balanced between two worlds. You came to senses when you put on this bracelet, more precisely when they gave it to you. What kind of bracelet is it? This bracelet Shaman received from his mentor, who teaches to control fairies. In my case, it's my father. He read a special spell over this bracelet, so when I pick it up, I come to my senses. It's important to understand that you cannot become a shaman in one day. For example, you spend time and effort to get here, and I mastered all the power gradually. After receiving the bracelet, I had to drink goat's blood, and then I did. It tasted like milk. Do you have to do it often? I had to take 3 sips once in a lifetime. With this rite, young shamans complete their training. Only after that they can perform rituals on their own and turn to the spirits. Several times you came very close to me, approached closely and looked straight into my eyes. You had such an empty look. It was obvious that you were in a supernatural state. What was that? At that moment, the fairies were telling me about you. They said you've been to places which most people can't even think of. But in one of these places, you had something settled in you. I'm possessed by something? You've been to a place where a lot of wild animals, extraterrestrial creatures also live there, and one of them is stalking you. Is this unearthly creature still haunting me? Did you drive him away? I drove him away. It won't come close to you anymore. Is it an invisible creature? Is it physically present on Earth? The fairies told me there was a creature next to you, which humans cannot see, and they told me how to expel it. So you were looking at me while kicking it out. I saw this creature in your eyes, and then above you. And at that moment, expel him away. Why the company of this unearthly creature was dangerous for me. This is a dangerous creature. It threatened your life, and during this ritual, and me as well. When I kicked it out, it could attack me. Usually, such strong creatures do not come to humans themselves. They can move in only if a person will disturb their home. So I came to their territory. Yes, that's right. But that's what my job is about. We travel around the world. Therefore, it's possible. I've been to many places. Here you go. It will be more comfortable. Thank you. You're so caring. You got the devil drove out of me and put me a pillow. The questions I asked did not concern me. Yes, first, the fairy said there will be no global warming, so we may not worry that all the glaciers will melt and flood us. Nothing was said about the apocalypse, because it's only in the hands of Allah, and no one can know his plans. I asked about the wars, which are happening more and more on the planet. Will there be less of them? They said there will be no less wars, because people have become like cats with dogs. Everyone has enemies. How to fix it? The fairies did not tell you what can be done to bring peace to the whole earth. The only way is to respect each other and do as you wish to be done with you. I asked about flights to Mars. If you look at the dynamics of the space industry, we can assume that in 10 or 20 years we will fly to Mars easily. What do you fairies say? Yeah, they said that everything related to space would work for people. A new season on Mars is possible. Sasha and I will fly and shoot. Yes, they even congratulated you. Congratulated? My friends, good news. Sasha and I may be flying to Mars. They said, not only on Mars, even further. And there will be things you can't imagine. They said you have very good wishes, but you have to be careful, and then everything will work out. You asked about the coronavirus. A month before the coronavirus epidemic began, the fairies told me about it. Could you influence it in any way? All I could do was warn people about the disease. Now tell us when it's over and when we'll forget the world itself. They said that it would end, and when they did not say. And they warned that we still need to be careful. So this is not the near future. We still have to live with masks and sanitizers. Yes. I also asked a question about Ukraine. Will Zelensky pass for a second term? Will he be president next time? This was said very vaguely. Many want to see him president for the second time, but many do not want to. Not everything is going as planned. There are chances in the future, but now he's not very good. You haven't been to Ukraine, and in general, do you know where is it? I've never been there. Ukraine can be far away, but when I ask the fairies about it, I see the answer here. I was really impressed by what I saw today. I don't regret looking for you for so long and got here to this place. I want to appeal to Ukrainians who will watch your film. You love tourism, an abandoned place with wild animals, but where you have to be careful not to disturb the genies. Not all Ukrainians, but the world inside out loves abandoned places with wild animals. To be careful. I understand you, thank you. Yes, the fairies told me that you're in such places where other people won't go. It's true. Where a normal person won't go for $1 million. It's almost impossible to get there. How it powers, I don't know. Maybe your fairies helped us there. For viewers to watch the world inside out, it didn't take risk. Thank you very much for accepting, listening, talking to the fairies, and conveying their message. My fairies and I try to do everything to help people. I remember our secret. You, your 21 fairies, and a wife. Take care of them. I can't leave you without presents. Ukrainian horseshoe for good luck. We hang them over the door. This means that all the bad will go away. Thank you. There are molfers in our Ukrainian mountains. These are also shamans. They can make wonders. Molfers wear such hats. Good luck to you. Thank you. My fairies and I will pray for you and entire Ukraine. Thank you so much and goodbye. I've been working for a long time in Hunza Valley. Concluding the expedition to these places, I can say for sure that the legends of these lands are not just legends. Like most of us, looking throughout a European prism, at first I was skeptical about many things. But many myths and legends turned out to be true. The local rivers can really be called golden. Checked personally, people have confirmed that they know how to prolong life and retire to stay healthy and active. And whether shamans can see the future, time will tell. Our incredible Pakistan expedition continues. Ahead are unique places and meetings with amazing people. In the next episode, a man known throughout Pakistan. The first thing to ask is, how do you do that? For his unusual ability, just like that. Do you still move them? They are completely out of orbit. Ahmed is 18, attends school and supports his sick parents. He's our main hope. And he dreams of becoming a world record holder. I know that there's a person who also rolls his eyes a lot. But he doesn't even suspect his talent may pose a health hazard. The scans show that Ahmed's skull is not usual. So our main question, how safe is it in future? Can the world inside out help a guy make a dream come true? Do you guess why we invited you today? I don't know. Fantastic story of the most unusual Pakistani. The World Inside Out with Dmytro Komarov.